Betty, I am getting ready to do a reaction and recap of Derry Girls Season 1, Episode 5. I am under the weather from COVID, so my voice might not sound quite right. My reactions may be a little bit off, but it's just because I don't feel that great.
It started already?
I think it's just a rehearsal of...
They've been playing the same 3 songs since 1795. What do they need to rehearse for?
Since 1795.
Practice makes perfect, Aunt Mary. You know, that is why they're so cracker. I'm sorry. Did you just call the Orange Order cracker? I'm considering joining. I don't think they accept Catholics, Orla. Or, you know, acknowledge our right to exist. I've read the same paragraph 47 times because I can't concentrate because... Oh my God, the noise! This whale, he's a bad brute, Mrs. Quinn. I have to know if they catch him. Can I come away with you, please? Okay, well, if your mother has no objection. Cards say if we go on this wee holiday, we're placing ourselves in grave danger, which I'm not buzzing about, to be honest. You're not psychic, Aunt Sarah. I am psychic, Erin. I did a course. I got a certificate. This is the best. Okay, everyone, remain calm. I need you all to listen very carefully.
Mary, I hate to do this to you, but me and Martin are both working nights and I'm nervous about leaving these two on their own, what with the deal that's on it. Don't suppose there's any chance you could take them with you?
I'll go wait, Deirdre, it's just...
The English thing. Bless him, Mary, I understand. I mean, he's my nephew and even I find it hard to get past. If I'm totally honest, there's times when I look at him and I feel, wow, it's pure hatred. I'll not dress it up.
No, it's not the English thing.
Hope to God it's not the gay thing you're offended by.
There is no gay thing.
Because I'd be disappointed in you, Mary. I'll not lie.
Of course not. I mean, if anything, the gay thing sort of cancels out the English thing.
Again, no gay thing.
You wouldn't move over there, James? I can't see past your massive closet.
I'm just not sure we'll have room in the caravan.
We're actually in a bit of a hurry, so if we could just grab that tent.
What are they, stilts?
Golf clubs.
I thought... spatulas?
They're rifles.
Are you sure?
Fairly sure. I also don't understand what connection spatulas, golf clubs or stilts would have to the Irish resistance.
Christ, he's a dose.
Give you the Intrepid, did he?
That's his second best tent, you know. Tell you what, son. I'm putting you in charge of it, okay?
Oh, please don't put me in charge of it.
It'll be alright.
Can I? Because Joe drives really fast. He runs through red lights and takes corners in 2 wheels. It's class.
It really is.
I think I'll hop in with Mr. Quinn if that's okay.
Me too. I'll go with me dad. You're coming?
Look, we just need to get out of this place as quickly and as quietly as possible.
You know what age I am, boy? You know how many of these parades I've lived through? You think I don't realise how quickly a situation can turn? You think I'd do anything to put my family at rest?
No, of course not. I'm sorry.
I mean, he's been through all of Game of Thrones anyway.
Okay,
Of course he knows.
I think what's happened here is, now correct me if I'm wrong, but I think your father has just driven through a police barricade.
You'll not tell me where a cow can go me own time! Orange bastard!
Sure, didn't I predict this?
No, you didn't.
I said this trip would place us in grave danger, Erin. Those were my very words.
This is in grave danger.
Oh, look, that cop's pointing his gun at us. I mean, it's not ideal, but this is more of a pickle.
It's a pickle, isn't it, Brenda? It's just a pickle.
Orange hold!
Oh, what do we fellas think? They might respect that. I think they would respect that, actually.
Oh, where you go, son? You're not serious. It'll be grand. Underneath it all, I'm sure they're reasonable enough people. Absolutely not.
Look at their little bowler hats.
How soon?
I'm thinking marriage.
Holy fuck.
Get yourself on.
To think, I could be staring at him right now. Can't marry an orange man, Michelle. It's a pity. Because I think there's something really sexy about the fact that they hate us so much.
Nobody back there actually believed you were a Japanese tourist, Jared. They all thought you were a nutcase. I took pity on you. No, dear God, no.
What's wrong?
I can't find my purse.
I can see your purse right there.
No, that's my sterling purse. I'm talking about my pump purse. I can't find my pump purse, Jerry. The place is happening. The place is...
This is worth having a panic attack
Oh,
about?
no, you're going to have to turn around.
There is more chance of me eloping with your father to a flip-flop shop in Hawaii.
Look, okay, fine. But that means we won't be able to buy anything, which means we'll have no food, which means we'll all starve to death. So, you know, on your head, bait, Jerry. Oh, actually, do you know what? I think I'll put it in the suitcase.
False alarm there, St. Anthony. Sorry for troubling you.
What the hell were you playing at back there? Kimosabe.
That's actually a Native American term.
What were you meant to be?
Japanese.
Wait, but you get much Japanese tourism in Derry, do you?
Why can't we just use sterling? Well, they did for a while, Sarah, but then, you know, partition happened.
Holy God!
Do you mind telling us what you're doing in there?
All right. Well, during the last 24 hours, crossing the border has become somewhat of a priority for me, so I did a bit of asking around, you know, just in the off chance someone might be heading down that way. And your name came up, and there you have it.
I missed my bet. I thought you said fortune telling was medieval. Yeah, well, something has made me reassess all that. What was it again? Oh, the fact that there's an actual provo in the front of our car. No! I've lost my bookmark. No, I've lost my page. Oh my God, this day just goes from bad to worse.
The perspective made it clear.
My,
I can clearly fancy
my
this
oldest
though. Why
kid,
doesn't someone
he
just call
would
the
die
police?
over a bookmark being
That's how
lost.
things work around here, James.
Well, how do things work here? How do they work? Will one of you please explain it to me? Because sometimes I feel like I've gone through the fucking looking glass.
Calm down, James.
This is dangerous, Joe. He is dangerous.
I'm not dangerous.
In fairness, Emmett, if you were dangerous, you wouldn't say that you were dangerous, would you?
Right.
Did you hear that?
Mom! Hey, Uncle Mom! Listen, Mommy! Listen!
Fair enough, says the big clock.
We don't help him and he kills us all because we know too much.
I like him. I think he's a character. Well,
Just a cup of tea for me, please, love.
see him here.
Yeah, thanks, love.
Oh, and some cokes for the weigh-ins, please. What do you fancy, Sarah? I wouldn't mind a wee vodka. Like that too.
We don't sell alcohol.
I'll take a tea.
Any food?
Can we just look at?
Fine.
Yeah. And at $2.25 a burger, looking is all we'll be doing.
There's obviously something between us.
There is?
The physical thing isn't really working for me yet.
Right.
I'm not saying you won't grow on me. You're not a bad-looking lad.
Thank you.
The ginger element. Well, I've sort of got a borderline phobia.
I'm not ginger.
There's a tinge in it. And while I can't say it won't be a struggle, I'm willing to try.
Great.
Even that sort of turns my stomach.
Okay. Really didn't want to have to do this.
Jesus Christ! Get down! Everybody get down!
Is there something wrong with her? Do you recognise the legal system of a brutal imperialistic oppressor, do you?
If they can put me in jail for 20 years, then yes, Emmett. Yes, I do. Listen. Have you killed anyone, son?
No. Well, at least not directly.
Well, there you go. Should I settle it? I don't think that does settle it, actually, Joe.
Our customer service is shocking as well.
I desperate for someone she'd say something.
Jerry! Jerry should say something.
Well, no problem.
I ordered tea, you brought me a Coke, and that's not acceptable.
But you drank the Coke.
That's not the point. And your service has been nothing short of appalling. Your attitude is worse. It's simply not good enough.
I'll bring you a tea.
You do that.
I'm sorry. I got a bit of bad news today. I haven't really been able to focus. Been a bit distracted, maybe. I'm sorry.
Well, there was absolutely no need for that.
Jerry,
Harsh.
Awful.
poor Gary. I can't believe you did that to him.
I've had it with the lot of you. And just for the record back there, I was being an Australian tourist, okay? Australian. And I happen to think that my accent was flawless. Excuse me, mate, can you help us get out of here? Flawless!
I vote we take him for better or worse and more.
You go and take him.
Me too. I can't decide.
I've decided, but I'm afraid to say what I've decided. Interesting.
So, heads, the wee man comes with us. Tails, we leave him.
It was him. The mural on our house, the spray paint. It was Emmett. I can prove it.
Sly wee bastard.
You bloody tote.
Where is Emma?
I'm second best yet. How am I going to break it to him?
That was Dairy Girls Season 1, Episode 5. At the beginning, they were trying to get ready to prepare to leave their home area. I think they were going across the UK border? Not 100% sure on that. So going to Britain, maybe? I'm not sure. So I know that Northern Ireland has some dividing walls, or they at least did. My understanding is that some of those walls may have been taken down, but they're not all gone. But either way, some sort of dividing wall there. So between the Northern and Southern Ireland. But then there's also the division between the island of Ireland and the UK island. So I'm not sure exactly where they were going. They were going somewhere to get away from the upcoming events and riots and any other possible things that might occur during the situation. Some of the friends also decided to come along, which meant that more people were coming than what they intended. So they decided to allow the menfolk to pitch tent outside. There's a hitchhiker in the trunk that they don't know about. And apparently this person also had painted a mural on their wall outside where they were living. I guess an Irish rebel mural. I don't know the extent of all of it. My understanding is that there's always been this clash between Catholics and Protestants, but then there is also this clash between people who are loyal to the British government and people who are not. Not too far unlike America's early days, where they had loyalists to the British government and people that were not loyal. But I think very different, because Ireland is right there. They cannot get away from these people. So different in that respect. But anyway, pardon me. Sorry. My face kind of hurts from COVID. So they get to this restaurant and to try to hash things over and figure out what they're going to do about this stowaway that they have in the trunk of their car. I was confused about what a punt was. So as far as I could tell, it looked like the punt was some sort of coin that was used for them to get over the border. I don't know if it's like a special coin or if it's just, like the difference between $1 and £1 or whatever. And I also found out, I was confused in a previous episode about a quid. So a quid apparently is the same as £1, and £1 right now is worth about $2. I don't know what it was then, but that would mean you're talking about, over $700 for that field trip that they were talking about. They're trying to figure out what to do about this guy, and there were a few other things that happened. The lady Sarah, she's calling herself a psychic. She says she's got a certificate. She went into a class and got a certificate and everything. So I thought that was kind of amusing. Michelle asks her for a reading, and she comes up with this idea that she's going to meet this guy on this trip, and they're going to get married or whatever. And Michelle sees this guy. She assumes that it's this person that's stowed away in their car, and she has a problem with him because there's a tinge of ginger in his hair, which I find amusing because Michelle herself looks like she has a tinge of ginger in her hair. So So what was that all about? I don't know, but maybe she doesn't realize she has ginger in her hair. Or maybe she knows she has ginger in her hair and she doesn't like it. I don't know. But whatever. There was one section where Claire gets all upset because she lost her bookmark. And I said that would be my kid, Ben, because Ben loves to read. Ben is obsessed with reading. Ben reads like these tremendously thick books, and he reads them very quickly. Whereas I read very slowly. It will take me months to read a thick book like that, and he can read it in like a night. One night, and he's like through an entire like hugely fat novel. It's impressive to me. Some people might think that's okay, but to me it's impressive because I read so slow. But yeah, when he's freaking out because he lost his bookmark, and I was like, yeah, I could see Ben getting like really upset about something like that. They try to get Jerry to make this decision. They want Jerry wants to leave the guy. Jerry is not sure about bringing the guy. He thinks that it is dangerous, it's unsafe, and Joe accuses him of being a wuss. He says he's even afraid of the waitress because he ordered tea and the waitress brought him Coke, and he didn't even say anything to her. He just continued to drink the Coke. So they basically coerce him into hounding the waitress about it. And the waitress comes over, and he tells her that, I ordered tea and you brought me Coke. And she's like, but you drank it. And he's like, but that's not the point. and he tells her that her service has been appalling. The waitress, after she says she'll get the tea, then she starts to get upset, like get noticeably upset, and says that she got bad news, and looks like she's about ready to cry. And so then they jump down Jerry's throat for saying that to her when they're the ones that convinced him to say it to her. So it was something else. And eventually Jerry finds out that the guy that was hitching a ride in their trunk, Emmett is his name, finds out that he is the one that painted the mural on their wall, because he goes and paints another mural in the bathroom. If the group that is staying there are a bunch of British loyalists and he is against the British, being in Ireland, then that would make sense. But then why is he going to go over the border to Britain unless he's trying to cause trouble, which could very well be. But I guess that's their predicament, is what do? If you know that he's going to go over the border and cause trouble, then you don't want to do that. You could get in trouble. And if they're bringing a stowaway that isn't supposed to be there, then they could get in trouble for that. The whole thing with needing a punt to get over the border, then there's that too. I don't know the ins and outs of the situation well enough to know exactly like what was going on, and I certainly wasn't part of it, so I couldn't fully wrap my head around what that experience would have been for them. So he finds out that the guy did that. The guy takes off. He also steals the tent that James was borrowing from that other guy. Was the guy that he was borrowing it from named James too? James was borrowing from James. I don't know. But anyway, he takes the tent that James was borrowing, and he goes and hitches a ride in the back of somebody else's trunk, which they call a boot. So, if anybody's confused, a boot is what Americans call trunks. Why we call them trunks and they call them boots? Notice that you could also say they're like clothing items. Trunks. Like swim trunks, or boot, like a boot, like you put on your feet. Whatever. Don't listen to me. I'm wacky right now. Who knows what's going on? But thank you for coming. I will see you next time.